I had it on mute. You want me to start all over?
No, you don't.
No,
Okay.
we just go roll call.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. Alderman Krittner,
Here.
Alderman Tremblay,
Here.
Alderman McNeil,
Here.
Alderwoman Walker. Here. Mayor Pro Tem Madero,
Here.
city attorney is here, and city secretary present. We got a quorum.
Thank you. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Citizens to be heard, people wishing to speak may sign up with the city secretary in the time and manner indicated above. Do we have anybody signed up? All right, moving right along. Mayor and administrator announcements. So the announcements for myself, I've had a couple of meetings with Bexar County Emergency Management, and they are predicting with the weather station that if the freeze is going to come in Saturday to Sunday. So I've advised our public works to kind of do some building prep, throw salt down on all the pathways and things like that. So they've been working on that this week. Emergency management also asked us to be a secondary shelter, a warming station. So if you see a bunch of commotion going on during the weekend, that may be happening, I'll let y'all know if that's the case. If you're available, I'll send everybody a message that what's going on in case you have time to come and volunteer while things are going on. But just stand by. There may not, we're secondary, so we may not be needed. As far as announcements, that's all I have. Jermaine, do you want to throw anything in there? Do you have anything for today?
No, sir.
Okay. All right, then let's move right along. Consent agenda, all matters listed under the consent agenda are considered routine by the City Council of the City of Sandy Oaks and will be enacted by one motion. There will not be a separate discussion of these items. If discussion is desired, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately.
I'd like to pull item A and B, please.
A and B, all right.
Move to approve consent agenda items C through F.
A second.
Okay, I have a motion by Alderman Tremblay and a second by Alderwoman CJ Walker. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? That motion carries.
All right, so first to start with, the December 11th meeting agenda that's in here, or meeting minutes that are in here. Just because what the version that's printed is not the version that was emailed to everybody, because there were some corrections made, spelling Priscilla Schmidt's name correctly.
Is it correct in the provided version?
The provided version, but just I want to make sure everybody knows that the edits that because they look at what is emailed to them, and I didn't see a follow-up email. But the one thing I wanted to discuss, other than the edits that were made, is item 12E. Item 12E states that the motion stated hopefully get something going next month. I thought that was a comment made outside of the motion and not the motion itself. Just wanting clarification on that. The motion was made by Alderman Tremblay and seconded by Alderwoman Walker. I don't recall you saying hopefully get something going next month as part of the motion. Is merely a comment.
We can strike it.
I don't recall. Verbatim, I know we did, make a motion to, not to, an NTE, $1,000, and I believe, it's in the works now. I think Jerry has some of the tablets approved, right? So, I mean, we could strike. Hopefully.
All right, I would move to have the city secretary confirm whether or not that was part of the motion and then edit the minutes accordingly and then approve them once she verifies whether or not it was in. Once she goes in and edits it to make sure it accurately reflects. Does that make sense? To approve them once she verifies.
That's your motion.
That is my motion. I move to.
You have a second?
Second.
All right, I have a motion by Mayor Pro Tem and a second by Alderwoman CJ Walker to have the city secretary verify that it does not say or does say, hopefully get something going next month. All those in favor say aye.
All right,
All those opposed?
Hold on, that motion also included for them to be approved once she makes that change, not bring them back and just say it's good. Is that what you said, sir?
I did not say that, but I mean, that's,
That, yeah,
oh, I got you. Okay.
because I don't want to bring it back. I want her to validate it and then for the council to say they're approved and we trust her to validate it and correct it.
All right, let me rephrase that. All right, I got a motion by Mayor Pro Tem and a second by Alderwoman CJ to have the city secretary review the meeting minutes and either strike or delete, strike or maintain, hopefully get something going next month and approve them. Does that sound better?
Yeah, approve them with her correction or not.
Right, with her correction. All those in favor say aye.
all right.
All those opposed. All right.
All right, and then with the 8 January meeting minutes, I just wanted to point out that there were some changes that I requested to that, which are in this printed version. Alderman Rapino was not part of the council on our January meeting, so we removed him from the roll call. We also further clarified that on item 5, which was originally 12A, that not only did we identify Mr. McNeil as the replacement to assume Alderman Place 3, we also swore him in at that time and he assumed his seat for the remainder of the meeting. I thought that was relevant. And then item 8 was cleaned up so that it was not saying that Priscilla was going to level the area and it just focuses on the work that she actually did. So if there's no issues with those comments that I had the mayor incorporate into the version that you're looking in front of you. Oh, the other thing was with the park report from Alderman Crickmer. I also indicated that it was not resurfacing the wooden ramp and adding steps. It was resurfacing the wooden ramp instead of adding steps.
Mhm.
So those are the changes that are incorporated into the version in front of you. If no one has any issues, I move to approve the
I have-
version in front of you, not the version that was
There's
emailed to
just,
you.
a couple of things on item 13A and E on January 8th. Misspelling of my name, add an A in there, Tremblay, not Tremblay,
13A, where am I at? 13.
13A.
All right.
Then I modify that motion. I move to have the correction to properly spell Alderman Tremblay's name in item 13A and then pass them once edited. I mean.
A and E.
Oh, in A and E.
Okay, I move for her to verify she spelled her name properly throughout the entire
I
document.
did check them all, that's where I'll.
And then once she's done that, to approve the corrected, edited version.
All right, I have a motion by Mayor Pro Tem and a second by Alderman McNeil, who's now officially on the board, to have the city secretary verify that Tremblay is correct throughout the entire document, and once corrected, okay to sign and post. Does that sound fair? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right. I think that does then take care of our consent agenda. All right. Then let's move right along. only item, so I guess let me talk to 6A first. 6A codification, discussion or possible action on contract for codification services. So I have re-upped the conversation with uh Civic Plus. And the only reason why I talked to them again is because I spoke with TML about some compliance issues that's on our website, and they said give them a shot. They've been doing a lot of work for other cities. And so we're just having that conversation again, seeing where we're at. So then if there's no questions on that, I can address 6B and the reason why I want to do it like that. Is there any questions on 6A so far? All right, so then we'll move to 6B. So discussion or possible action on the status of resolutions and ordinances. I did take that list and I'm gonna work with our city administrator to kind of help prioritize that for the coming days. So there's gonna be a lot of stuff that we're gonna have to work hand in hand with, but because he's here 40 hours a week, I think a lot more stuff will get done. So that's where I'm at on 6A and 6. Any questions? Okay. So then let's move on. 7A, discussing or possible action on rescinding resolution 2020-117, adopting a policy on political activity for city employees and its appointed officers. So if you recall, and Mayor Pro Tem, please fill in for me if I don't state it correctly. But in our new employee manual, which by the way, everybody has signed and hard copies are provided in each department. We already addressed this in our employee manual, and so the thought is that we do not need 2020-117 adopting a policy on political activity for city employees and its appointed officers.
So it's been moved to the employee manual.
That is correct, yeah.
I don't see a copy of that in here.
Copy of,
Resolution. Or that's No, I don't even have. Oh, okay, so it's behind. No. What is the original resolution? Oh, then the original resolution is this. Yeah, I don't have 17 in here. I don't have a section 7A.
You want this one?
I just want to see if you made the correction that I sent to him.
So-
Yeah, the resolution in that.
7A.
Yeah, it's not in my packet. I'd like to verify and see whether the edits that I sent were incorporated.
Are we rescinding it?
Yeah, I mean,
That's
that's
good. Thank you.
important.
I tell you it's done, it's done.
You didn't say it was.
Yeah, I thought I did. If I didn't, yeah, I should have responded back. to
You said you were gonna go look into all of them.
Ah,
Thought we would move on it then, right?
All right, I move to approve ordinance 2026-245, a resolution of the city council of the city of Sandy Oaks, Texas, repealing resolution number 2020-117, a policy on political activities.
Second,
all right, I have a motion by the Mayor Pro Tem and a second by Alderman McNeil to approve resolution 2026-245, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Sandy Oaks, Texas, repealing resolution number 2020-117, a policy on political activity. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed? All right, that motion carries. All right, let's move on to agenda item B. Discussion or possible action on ordinance 2026-265, enforcing the master plan.
Any issues with the questions I found when I entered?
There were just a few little things, right? Like,
Yeah, adding a preposition here or there.
yeah. I think it was, what was that, Martin Luther King Day? I knocked these out.
So. This is technically. Technically, the master plan was already enforceable. This is adding fees and
Fines and
fines
fees,
to
right.
go along with it. However, it is a new ordinance, so is the second reading required on that?
Correct.
Okay. But it is one where the second reading could be waived if we
You
wanted
could
to. approve
waive it or
tonight.
you, yeah.
So. I'll leave this on you.
I move waive second reading and approve ordinance 2026-265.
I'll second it.
All right, I got a motion by Alderman Tremblay and a second by Mayor Pro Tem to approve ordinance number 2026-265. An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Sandy Oaks, Texas, amending ordinance number 2020-162, providing procedures for adoption and amendments to the comprehensive master plan to provide for enforcement and penalties and other matters related thereto, and also waiving the second reading. All those in favor say aye.
Does this have to be published?
I'll publish it tonight. All those in favor, oh, I already got that. All those opposed? All right, I'll publish it tomorrow, actually. All right. That was easy, moving right along. 7C, discuss under possible action on a cease and desist order for industrial commercial activity on the property located at 21846 Reese Road. Alderman Crickmer, Alderman Tremblay, you do have the floor.
So I think we asked the attorney what our options were as far as, I believe that the TCEQ did go by there, I think it was the day after the meeting. I don't know what their findings were.
Yeah, I sent an email to Priscilla the day after, that Friday after our meeting. She said she would let me know of any follow-ups, but I haven't heard back. She's been around, so I can follow up again with her just to see what's the status, because there was multiple properties that we had them looking at as well, so,
Oh, more than that one.
yeah. For other reasons, but still.
So again, what are our options as far as issuing a cease and desist order?
Well, now that you've adopted the ordinance 2026-265, you follow the procedures in that, which would be a notice of violation. Someone can go inspect the property, give the owner an opportunity to comply. If they don't, then that's when they could be subject to penalties, possibly go to court, issue a cease and desist order.
So the ordinance will be published tomorrow.
Formally.
There any time frame from the time it's published to when it's enforceable?
It'll be published Wednesday. Once it's published Wednesday, then it's enforceable.
So we need to get with the police department, have them do an inspection as a code compliance.
Yes, the code compliance.
Of
So it needs to go to publish in the paper.
Yes.
This
it has-
ordinance,
it has
okay.
fines on
I
it.
think that's fine. Okay, gotcha.
Okay. I don't have anything else. It's.
He's still got tractors and trailers in his
Right,
backyard.
it'll be doing an inspection and then we can move, take action
Who's responsible for
for.
letting the police department know that it's been published? Is that something the city administrator should do, that it's published and that they can go forward? Have you guys notified
Yeah,
the
I
police
think
department which ordinance
we'll
are
have to-
being violated?
We'll have to bring a city administrator up to date as far as what, where we're at on that property. And I'll do that, give him time to get his feet wet next week and, I'll try and meet with it midweek, maybe next
Yeah,
week.
once we have confirmation that it's in the paper, then we can
So
sit
we can
down.
go the day it's published.
No.
There's no 2 weeks after it's published or anything like that.
It's gotta be published that day.
Okay.
But we need to make sure the police department's aware which ordinances we think are in
Correct,
violation.
Right.
In addition to the master plan, there's other ordinance that I think you said were being violated. There,
Yes,
we
there's
may
more
want
than
to
one.
mention it all.
And then we can, yeah. Okay. First step, publish it, then we'll get going with this. Yes, okay, gotcha. Okay, let's skip D and E for now, if nobody objects. I think we can save that for almost the end. And then let's move to 7 F. So if you have not noticed, the chief is not here. He's feeling under the weather, but he still wanted to discuss his racial profiling report. So also, Alderwoman CJ, I believe I sent it to everybody. If you can find it, if not, I'll send it to you again. Can you publish that on the
Yeah.
police website?
I
Thank
think
you.
we might have already done. I'm not
Okay.
Sure.
Great. I know the previous years were there. I haven't checked this one,
Oh,
so if you
double
can,
check.
all right. Chief, are you there?
Yes, sir, I'm here.
All right. Do you want to go ahead and talk to your report or just kind of explain what it's about and then we can field any questions?
So I wanted to make sure everybody knows that the reason why there's two reports instead of one is we were using one system, CopSync, for part of the year, and then we changed our computer system to eForce. So that's why there's two different reports. Usually it's just one report, but we use the system for part of the year and then a separate system for the rest of the year. So I wanted to make that clear. And then if anybody has any questions on the report, I can help answer them, just like the monthly reports.
So first, Chief, I noticed in these reports, there is no use of force. So great work by the police department being able to resolve everything without any use of force.
So I do want to clarify that and some other stuff. So we did have some use of forces last year, but what I'm figuring out, and I need to get with eForce, we no longer have CopSync, so I'm not going to worry about that. But I need to get with eForce, and the problem that we're running into is, for example, we go to these that are on the racial profiling reports is through the computer system every time somebody writes out a citation or warning. But there's going to be times that we initiate a traffic stop and it develops into an arrest and there was no citation. If I pull you over and you have a warrant, I may not write you a ticket for running that stop sign or for having the defective tail light, but I'm taking you to jail for that warrant. Therefore, eForce never knows I made that traffic stop. However, CAD does. This is why when I do our monthly reports, everything is coming from CAD. If I pull you over and it turns into a felony traffic stop, you may not get a citation for the initial reason why we pulled you over. So I can't tell you, we did have some uses of forces last year. I in fact was a part of one, so I can tell you of at least one. But that person had several warrants, ended up going to jail, and no citation was written. So CopSync has no clue that we made that traffic stop. The CAD system does through Bexar County. The most accurate numbers that you guys are going to see is the month-to-month numbers because we get those from CAD. If an officer pulls somebody over and then a call comes in that there's something happening down the street, they're going to give that person a verbal warning and let them go. Our computer system never knows we made that traffic stop. These are only where a citation or a warning was issued to that person. So it doesn't indicate every stop that we made, which I wish it did, but it doesn't. But the CAD system has track of that, and those are the ones that I give you guys on a month-to-month basis.
So Chief,
Yes, sir.
in response to that, does CAD report a racial profiling report?
No, sir, it does not.
Then those people are falling through the cracks, right? I mean,
Well, but CAD's not subject to do it. What I'm saying, CAD is the where we get this. That's how dispatch knows where we're at, what we're doing, when we make a stop, when we arrive at a call.
then I think we just need to, I think we just need to get with eForce and figure out where the gap is and fix it.
Right.
Because
The other thing that we're doing, I'm sorry to cut you off, man. The other thing that we're doing now is Sergeant Palomares 2 months ago created a daily activity report that is being done on a daily basis, which lists every call the officers go to, every report that they punch out, how many stops they did that day, and how many warnings or citations they issued that day. This way we're double tracking with CAD. And like I said, the problem is if no citation or no warning is written, then there's nowhere for us to mark on the computer system that there was a search done or that a use of force was done or narcotics was found.
What-
A lot of times you pull somebody over, you find drugs, they go to jail, but they didn't get the ticket because it was for a minor infraction, whatever they may have done to get pulled over.
Chief, is that the
Um,
same, so is this an issue on the previous system?
Yes, sir, it was.
Okay, so it's an ongoing thing. It's not something new.
No, sir.
It's always been wrong one, in a sense, right?
Is there any, is there, hey, Chief, is there any reporting, anything in this report that reflects citations for code compliance? Or do you not report that?
No, sir, I do not believe those are reported, and let me look at here real quick at the things I have here. So we-
No. Right, this is all about traffic stuff.
No, that,
Racial
yeah, that's
profiling.
a city ordinance violation, so they're not gonna have, now, in our new system, if I'm not mistaken, we can probably get that done because there was a section that I could have added for animal control, but we did not. Cause my officers do not enforce the animal control citations on a regular basis, but I could call them and ask them if we can input for code compliance, right? I did not ask them, but these are state violations.
Right, I mean, I'm only looking at it as if it benefits you, fine. I don't see no other reason for doing it unless.
I don't, the reason being is that I don't believe the state's requiring us to do racial profiling for code compliance violations. These are violations for high grass fences. We're not, this racial profiling is basically to make sure we're not racially profiling somebody, like we're pulling you over because you are a certain race
Gotcha.
or targeting somebody. So code compliance is not, I don't think that they really need a staff for that.
Right, and so in item 6, or rather line 6, it says requires collection of information relating to motor vehicle stops in which a citation is issued and to arrests made as a result of those stops, including information relating to the race and ethnicity, whether a search was conducted, and if so, whether the individual detained consented to the search. So it sounds like, because it says made as a result, arrests made as a result of those stops, sounds like it should have it. It just sounds like it may not be
Yeah.
captured.
So it should, and so what, the best way to fix that problem is have the officers write, even if it's a warning for everything, even if they make an arrest, right? It just sometimes turns into these situations where you either, that's the last thing on your mind, like
Yeah.
when Sergeant Palomares was in a pursuit the other day, the last thing on her mind is go back and write a citation for that person. It turns into a felony stop, and then you're dealing with a whole lot of other stuff. So sometimes it gets bypassed. The other thing I wanted to mention, and I'm sorry to bring it up earlier, is this year, every other year that we've done this under race and ethnicity, they'll have, white, black, Hispanic, but there was always a category for unknown. We had 10 traffic stops last year under the unknown category that are not listed in this racial profiling report because they no longer have an unknown category. So, if you don't know, and this is what was taught to us now in the new training going on, if you don't know the ethnicity or the race, then you pick the closest one that you think it is. So that we did have 10 other stops that are not listed on there because on our citations, we still have unknown to click, but it doesn't come out in the racial profiling. Which I don't know why they give us the option to click unknown if it's not going to come out on here, but they do.
So it sounds like you got 2 things you need to address with E-Force.
That is correct.
Okay.
Well, I had a couple other questions on here. So at the very beginning of your report, it states that the police department has adopted a detailed written policy on racial profiling. Where is that policy at?
So we have in the it should be in our police officer, the policy and procedures for the SOPD. Every agency has to have a policy about racial profiling.
Okay, so this is the policy created by the previous chief that the lieutenant's trying to update. All right, just wondering where that was at. And then, and I asked this last time, just to confirm, the racial distribution across the 3 areas where we are doing the traffic stops, does that accurately reflect, the distribution that exists within the city?
Well, I would assume so. I mean, the majority of our traffic stops are Hispanic and the majority of the city is Hispanic, so yes, ma'am.
Okay, on the E-Force report, and it says approximate location of the stop. There are 4 that are done on the US highway, but we don't have any US highways that I'm aware of within our city. So are these ones where the, Bear County sending you out somewhere onto a US highway?
No, so what is happening a lot of times is that, and for example, I know one of them I was a part of, I was with Officer Porche. We initiated the traffic stop in the city, but they don't stop until they're on Highway 37. Sergeant Palomares had a second pursuit that started in the city, but didn't end until they were, well, she called it off on Highway 37. So a lot of times they'll leave Waterwood Pass, cross over to Highway 37. So it's marking us stopped on Highway 37, even though the infraction happened in the city limits.
Okay, but we have jurisdiction to follow them out there and just use common sense.
As long as we observe the infraction in the city, yes, ma'am.
All right, because I know when we were talking about that, agreement with China Grove, we were concerned about jurisdiction and things as we leave outside, so. just
Yeah,
making
no,
sure we
so,
didn't-
so as long as we observe the infraction within the city limits.
All right, in section I, under contraband discovered, it says 1, but when you scroll down, it says 1 contraband discovered again, and then it says 1 not arrested. So is that the same one being counted multiple times?
So not arrested yet, that's the same, it would be the same stop. In other words, that's the jail. They're not accepting a lot of our possession marijuana cases. They're not accepting them at the jail. So we found contraband, or we found paraphernalia, or we found something that we can arrest for, but they won't accept them at the jail.
See, my question is, it says 1 at the top, but then as you scroll down later on, it's got 1 listed twice. So if there was only 1 arrest for contraband, or 1 stop for contraband, and then it's counted twice again, that's just the same one, and it's just the way this report is running it.
That is correct.
Okay, because there's a couple places I've noticed it does that, so. And that would be why the 1 drug person was not actually arrested, because it was marijuana and the jail won't take them, so understood. All right.
Yeah, so basically what it says is on the first, under I, where it says contraband discovered, that's 1, right? It's just saying we had that 1 discovered. And then the second time you see it, it's saying that it was a Hispanic or Latino person. And the third time you see it, it's the same one, just that they were not arrested.
All right, so that 1 person's on there 3 times. Okay, thanks.
Yes, ma'am. Any other questions?
No, sir.
All right, if there are no further questions, then I think we can go ahead and move forward. Chief, I think you're good.
I appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
All right,
Sorry for being
Feel
late.
better.
feel better. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Bye. All right, agenda item 7G, discuss on a possible action on amending the 2025-2026 budget. So it's in a couple of line item changes. The savings account contribution, I wiped that out, and I'll tell you why, because it was in the wrong area. It's in the revenue section. That's not revenue that we're getting. That would be expense that we're sending out. So wanted to fix that. On the next page, I added in salary information for our city administrator, considering there's about 9 months left in the month. $42,000 is what I calculated for TMRS and salary. And actually that 40K and the 2K are flipped, so they just need to go vice versa. And then on the next page, I did swipe 10K from the PD salaries to then go ahead and fund 10K into the tools and equipment for the new zero turn.
So that's a highlight on the third page?
Yes, ma'am. That's what, oh, sorry, yeah, so it said originally 6,000, now it says 16,000.
All right, but the salaries here, that's 10,000 less than previously.
Yes, it was 450, I apologize.
And then is this the budget minus the highlights or with the highlights
This is
that
all-
added to as exhibit A to the ordinance if we pass it?
I mean, yeah, actually, this could be posted to as exhibit A.
This would be the exhibit A.
Yeah.
Because the highlights, I think, help point out what has changed, so that if someone had a previous one, they could look at it.
Correct. Yeah, so
Okay.
this one can be posted. I'll just make the corrections on the TMRS and the city salary.
And then on the ordinance, section 4, it should reference exhibit B instead of exhibit A. Exhibit B should be like a clean copy of the amended budget, not with the highlights or the notes.
So that was
That
one
was
of the
just a
questions.
typo.
Okay.
Yeah, because when I questioned him about this because it says exhibit A up at the top. Where was that?
No, it said exhibit B, right?
It
And then,
said exhibit A somewhere and then it said exhibit B, so it had, oh, wait, pull up mine.
well, are we okay with the
yeah,
one? Yeah,
So I have no questions on it.
okay. All right, if there are no other questions, then I don't think we need a motion for this?
No, because it's gonna be attached. to
Right.
the-
Okay,
So.
so then, yeah, let's let's move on to 7H.
Okay, so that was my question. So the version that we have has exhibit A down here. And
Section
exhibit A up there. So it says. Section 2 says approves the budget amendment as shown in the attached exhibit A. So would that be the highlighted one? Is that what you're saying? And then exhibit B under we should have exhibit B under section 4 and make that a clean version?
Yes, the exhibit A shows strike throughs, red lines, kind of the moves.
Okay,
And then exhibit B is the new budget.
yeah.
Okay.
I asked the mayor why we had two different exhibits on there.
So then we'll make
Because
that
that's how we
one.
had it. Okay, so I move to amend section 4 to say exhibit B and attached to this ordinance this document we just reviewed with the city admin salary, TMRS, and city admin salary switched, as well as a clean copy of what the budget looks like reflecting these changes.
Gotcha.
So a red line version and a clean version attached to this ordinance.
Okay. So I have a motion. Hold on, let me.
I'll second.
I haven't even finished. Let me get there. All right, let me see. Okay. All right, I have a motion by the mayor pro tem and a second by Alderwoman CJ to amend ordinance number 2026-266, striking out in section 4 exhibit A and instead entering exhibit B, and to then attach the yellow line version of the budget as exhibit A and a clean version of the budget to exhibit B. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed? All right.
Then I would move to approve ordinance number 2026-266, an ordinance of the city council of the city of Sandy Oaks, Texas, amending the annual budget for fiscal year 2025-2026 for municipal purposes, providing severability clause and providing for an effective date as just amended.
Second.
All right, I got a motion by our mayor pro tem and a second by Alderman McNeil to adopt resolution number 2026-246. No, where am I at? Grab the wrong one. Sorry, guys. Yeah. What up is? To approve ordinance number 2026-266 as amended, an ordinance of the city council of the city of Sandy Oaks, Texas, amending the annual budget for fiscal year 2025-2026. All those in favor say aye.
Um,
All those opposed? All right, that motion carries. All right, so now we can move on to agenda item I. discussing or possible action on resolution 2026-243, appointing an interim city administrator. You still want it, city administrator?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
All right, I move to adopt resolution number 2026-243, a resolution of the city council of the city of Sandy Oaks, Texas, appointing an interim city administrator.
A second.
All right, I got a motion by our Mayor Pro Tem and a second by Alderwoman CJ to adopt resolution number 2026-243, a resolution of the city council of the city of Sandy Oaks, Texas, appointing an interim city administrator. All those in favor say.
Any, yes,
Oh, sorry.
did
No,
you have,
no.
oh, okay, I didn't know if he had something to say. Sorry,
You're good.
he doesn't have anything on that.
All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
206.
All those opposed?
Who said
Anybody?
2025?
All right. That motion carries.
You write this.
Welcome to the team, sir.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
All right, moving on to agenda item J, discuss and or possible action on resolution 2026-244, renaming the Sandy Oaks City Park to Tom Rapino Park.
By Donna.
No, I said, I'm gonna let you make that motion.
So,
It's fine.
thank you. There's a resolution, I propose a
No,
resolution.
you moved to second.
I move to accept,
Adopt.
resolution 2026-244, a resolution naming a city park in honor of Alderman Tom Rapino, recognizing Alderman Rapino's contribution to the city of Sandy Oaks as an alderman and to the city park, and providing an effective date.
All right, I got a motion by Alderman Crickmer. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
And a second by our Mayor Pro Tem. Is there any discussion? All right, the motion is to adopt resolution number 2026-244, a resolution naming a city park in honor of Alderman Tom Rapino, recognizing Alderman Rapino's contributions to the city of Sandy Oaks as an alderman and to the city park, and providing an effective date. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed? That motion carries. Moving right along. Okay, agenda item K, discussing or possible action on resolution number 2026-244, an investment policy.
It's 246.
Is it 246? That's right, it is 246. Yes. All right, and so annually, we do need to review our investment policy. And thankfully, our Mayor Pro Tem was nominated to act as our investment advisor, with the right title?
Investment officer.
Investment officer is the correct title. And so we have provided what has been provided in the past. So please take a moment to review, see if you have any questions or if you have any comments.
I have lots of edits,
Sure.
and then I have lots of questions. So in the first paragraph under section 6, I move to insert the word "the" between responsible for and between responsible for and investment, so that it reads the person responsible for the investment or the investment of. There's no S on that one.
You want to go through them all and just make one motion? Or how do you?
And at the end of the next paragraph, I move to replace the word ensure with an I with ensure with an E. Add a comma after quality and capability immediately following that word. And I'll send you this copy, Mayor, so you can see what I'm talking about.
Okay.
In the paragraph right before section 7, remove the word "or" in the middle of that paragraph after if the investment officer. So it reads, if the investment officer is related.
Hang on, I'm trying to find. Okay, gotcha.
In section 7, not the first number 1, but the next number 1, and need a comma after bonds in the first sentence. In item 4, a comma after notes. In item 5, a comma after the closed parentheses in Texas government code.
One time out on that, what was the last one? I got the notes.
There's a parentheses closed that follows Texas government code.
Oh, gotcha. You want to
Need
put that
a
in
comma,
parentheses.
but inserted there. And then further down in that paragraph 5, there's a sentence that starts the city by contract. And there should be a comma before and after by contract. And later in that same sentence, need to strike the S from the word investments, so it says investment. In the paragraph right before section 8, insert a comma after city council in the very last line of that paragraph. And then in paragraph 10, insure, again spelled with an I, should be spelled with an E.
Where it says collateralized or insured. Is it the
No,
one?
at the very beginning of the.
Oh, gotcha.
first top
I see it, I see it.
Paragraph,
Yeah.
investment officer shall insure.
I got it. I see it. Yeah. Thank you.
And then in item 11, the second paragraph, the last sentence, it says be held in safekeeping the city. It should, we need insert by so that it reads held in safekeeping by the city. And then going down to section 13, item 7, a comma after account and after fund. Those I'm not sure about, but those are the correction edits, and then there's questions that lead to conversation about the document.
We want a motion to make those edits. You don't have to state every single item she listed. You can also say, as Mayor Pro Tem presented previously. So the motion is to amend the investment policy with the adjustments that our Mayor Pro Tem stated previously.
Yeah, because it's all recorded.
I don't want to propose anything.
Don't we need to fill in,
Well,
no,
that's,
these are
that's,
just the
that's
corrections
the.
first.
oh, just the,
Because we have a lot of questions that go,
Move to approve the edits presented by Mayor Pro Tem in the investment policy general statement as presented.
All right, may I have a second?
I'll second.
All right, so I have a motion by Alderman Tremblay and a second by Alderwoman CJ to amend the investment policy general statement as indicated by the Mayor Pro Tem previously. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
aye.
All those opposed? All right, now let's go through the questions.
Okay, so section 7. 5, the second number 5 in section 7. The very last sentence in there, which is in bold, states that any investment in an eligible investment pool must be separately authorized by the city council by resolution or ordinance. Are we doing that? Do we want to keep that in there? Was the current investment approved by resolution? Is that the way we want to keep doing this moving forward? Is there a legal requirement to keep that in there? Just a point of discussion.
I think the city council can just, I think that was just, so the investment officer comes before council to get the approval without doing anything just
I
on.
don't know that we
There's a
ever
hurdle.
changed the initial
Yeah, I was just-
investment pool. I don't think that it's,
No.
it's the same throughout, so.
It states.
Mhm.
And it's-
Any investment in an eligible investment pool must be separately authorized by the city council by resolution or ordinance.
No.
From any, and it must be separate from any resolution or ordinance that adopts this policy.
Correct.
So I don't know if we've done that in the past,
There
but,
hasn't been any changes, but
but there
Yeah.
was, is there a ordinance or resolution that authorized us to invest in text pool?
I think so.
And do we want to keep that process moving forward?
Yes.
Is my question based
Yeah.
on what that said.
I would
yeah,
agree
I
that
think it
yes.
should stay that.
Okay. And then if we look at section 6,
Actual section 6, okay.
yeah, section 6, I'm sorry. It says, that the only folks that can move funds around, one, they have to do that lovely class, first, but it's only, and it's based on Texas code, the city treasurer, the city chief financial officer, and the city investment officer, which based on the last resolution was me and, Alderman Rapino. We don't have a city treasurer or a city's chief financial officer. And by Texas law, those are the only 3 authorized. So based on that fact, I would recommend that when we go to the ordinance, that we make sure there is still 2 investment officers that are authorized, since we don't have either of those other 2 individuals in this town. So that's just my ask of the council.
So we could come forward and add it to either the city administrator's job description, that you would act as the alternate, or the mayor. I mean, but we can address that.
Yeah, that would have to be later on. So in order to get this done, and how we deal with the city treasurer and chief financial officer can be dealt with later. But I have a form right now that we need to sign and get over, because as of right now, no one's authorized to move funds. So right now, I'm the only one authorized. Once we put somebody's name in here, only that person will be the one authorized
Correct.
to move it. So I just am requesting that the council consider recommending 2 folks to fill the role of investment officer when we approve the ordinance, because of this statement here in section 6.
Well, when Tom was what he was, I was the backup thing. When I was on the
Right.
council before.
Right, and,
And I.
Alderwoman Walker's been a backup before. I'm just asking that we continue to maintain that. And my reason for wanting to is because of that statement right there.
Yes,
So that's all I'm saying. Just consider that when we move forward to make a motion on that. So. And then,
What were we saying, Delma? Ken Roberts?
Ken Roberts was listed with Mr. Lapine. I saw it on the document.
That's probably not even from the last time that he was city administrator.
yeah, but he wasn't authorized. That was an
That's old.
illegal then.
No. I'm saying it was from when, because Ken Roberts had 2 bouts with City of Sandy Oaks. So this,
I'm telling you, unless we declared the city administrator, the city treasurer, or chief financial officer, we were violating this policy by putting him on
the
there.
city administrator has always been the chief financial officer.
He is not appointed as such. In
We
ordinance.
would have to
Right,
state that.
that's what
That's all she's
Alderman
saying.
Tremblay was saying, is that we need to go back and do that, and we can do that at a later date. But legally, we can only put the investment officer, city treasurer, and chief financial officer on there, which currently we don't have either of those 2 roles. So I'm asking that we make sure we have a backup from the start.
Yep.
And adjust as necessary later on. So, right before section
Another half.
10.
Another half for the city.
So. And then. This also states that at least annually, the city council shall review, revise, if desired, and adopt a list of qualified brokers that are authorized to engage in investment transactions with the city. This is right before section 10. So I don't see that in any of this. Is this something we should be doing with the investment policy?
It's extremely conservative, so we're not gonna go out and buy a bunch of bonds, stocks.
I'm not trying to discuss what we're investing in.
I know.
I'm trying to discuss the fact that right before section 10, in this policy we currently have, it states that at least annually, the city council shall review, revise, if desired, and adopt a list of qualified brokers that are authorized to engage in investment transactions with the city. So if this sentence is in here, then we should be reviewing this annually, and I don't see that here.
I think we've always took, Tom's, report, and he would, whenever he would give an investment report, he would let us know that it was doing well and that we shouldn't move it, this or that. So I don't know if you're gonna consider that as, reviews, but he did that.
That's the quarterly report covered in section 13.
Yeah, but what she's wanting to know is that should we review brokers?
So
Right.
this statement says we're going to review brokers. So is this something we've done and we have this list somewhere and we just need to look at this? Is this a sentence we should strike from this investment policy? Is there a legal requirement for us to do this? Because I'm saying it's in here.
But
We're
we
not
haven't
doing
done
it.
Yeah, we haven't
haven't
done
done
it.
it.
So my thing is,
Strike it.
I think we need to just stay on fiscal conservativeness and strike it and just leave it as.
This whole thing basically says.
Right, but by
again-
adding in a broker, now they can shop it and,
Right, and it's not saying we're adding a broker.
Yeah, yeah.
It just says, here's the list and these are the only brokers the investment officers can choose from. And is this required by Texas law for us to have this list of brokers? I recall reading that in the training that I took, but I don't recall whether it was mandated. So that's my question. Can we strike this
You
if the
have to
council?
look to see whether that is a requirement, but I don't think the council has done that in the past.
Okay, so whether or not we've done that is another issue. So if we're going to do this, if we have to keep this is something we need to go back and do.
We can
But-
follow that. If, yes, in fact, we do decide we're gonna go with the broker, so it just lists there that a written copy of the policy will be provided to the broker. So there's just kind of rules for them to follow based on what our policy is. Right? So,
That's
I
not the
mean,
point I'm making.
There's no list. But
Oh,
do
we
we
don't
need
have a
to
list.
have the list?
Right, but this sentence says that we're gonna have a list and we're
Right.
gonna review it every year. And that was part of mentioned in the training, this list of brokers. So the city attorney will need to find out whether we can strike this if you don't want the list of brokers.
Let's have a list with no one on it.
Or,
that's one way.
or if we have to legally keep it. That's my concern, not what we do with this list and whether who's on the list, who's not. Can we remove this, or does the city council want us to continue doing this?
The class that I took, it was so limited on what you could invest in, and it had to be through these state agencies that.
It's changed. It's probably been a while because this was a very in-depth class and there was multiple options that were available to us to invest in. So, because I just took the class last month, Wow.
Okay.
finished it earlier this month.
Google says that it must be done. For what that's worth.
So,
I don't think we can take it out.
right,
I'm not the attorney though, so.
right. So I would just ask,
Yeah, I don't know about Google.
Even
Yeah,
if it's
so I-
in there, you
Admissible.
don't need, you don't.
and then
the
if
thing-
we just, and if we do
No,
have
that
to keep
is-
it in there, can we leave it as,
That is
No.
required.
okay,
Google one. I'm gonna do it for that.
And that is, the way it's stated in the policy is how it's stated in the statute.
okay. Yeah, it sounded familiar. But digging into that, what does that mean? I mean. All right. So the investment officer, I guess we'll need to talk to figure out what that means, and then we'll have to bring it back to council at a later point to make sure we're reviewing that if it's never been done before. And then next year, whatever that list happens to be,
Review that.
we just review it as at the same time we review our investment policy. So just trying to make sure investment officers are able to follow the rules in here.
Well, I know. We could probably just call Texpool and see if they have a broker that they recommend. We also have a depository bank. We can,
Yeah, we have
Mhm.
ways we can get that, and that we
Right.
can work separate. I just wanted to find out because it's in here, do we have to keep it? Do we want to remove it?
Yep.
And then, there's also a requirement that. Was this in here or in my training, that whoever we're investing with sign. That they've received, I think it's in here too, signed and give us something saying they've received and understand our investment policy.
Hmm.
They're required to give us a letter indicating they viewed and understand our investment strategy.
Our broker, at least,
No, Textpool, we're using
Textpool.
Textpool right now,
right?
so did we do that? Where's the resolution giving us permission to invest in them? Where's the paperwork associated with that? So, and I guess we don't need that to approve the resolution. I'm just saying that's what's in here. That's what was in the training. That's what needs to be done. And I'm not sure we're following all the requirements of the training. No, and we're not even not following the requirements of what's supposed to be in our quarterly report. According to this investment strategy.
Pretty informal about that.
So, yeah, there's more information required. So, and I don't think we need that worked out to approve this, do we? Because it's not necessarily in here. Yeah, but that needs to be worked out at some point, the missing documents and letters to ensure that we're in compliance, not only with our own policy, but also with Texas law.
Yes, that's law.
Yeah, that's all I have until investment officers' time to talk about the investment policy.
so do we want to approve the investment policy as amended?
Move to approve the investment policy as presented.
I'll second.
As, did you say, Chris?
Amended.
Amended,
presented.
okay.
And a second by Alderman Crickmore. All right, I got a motion by Alderman Tremblay and a second by Alderman Crickmore to approve the investment policy general statement as amended. All those, any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed. All right. So then we could talk about the resolution. So on here, on this resolution, do we list out? I mean, we didn't materially make any changes to the policy, so there's really no changes.
Can we just say, edits as discussed at council, just so we know?
Yeah, there was,
Because when I went back looking at each of the previous resolutions, the policy wasn't attached to it,
okay.
but each of them said no changes. So I was assuming that I could look at 23 and be good there. So I think at a minimum, we should have edits. So I would move to strike no changes
It's typo.
or with the following changes
Grammatical changes.
and just say edits discussed at the council meeting on January 22nd, 2026.
Probably be more efficient to attach
The red
like
line.
the red line version showing the changes or listing changes.
Yeah, I
specifically,
can do the red
and then
line.
doing it like
I have the
current
red line.
state
You want to just do that?
with the changes attached as exhibit A and then exhibit B as policy, kind of like the budget.
I'll send you the red line.
Okay.
So, but, so what do we put here where it said, do we just strike no changes?
Strike
And just
that,
say
right.
with the changes indicated in exhibit A?
Yeah, within, changes indicated in red or strike through.
Section 2 says that it adopts the attached investment policy. So just strike, no changes, just strike that line. And attach what we just approved with all of the edits.
We're supposed to list we need to specify that we're listing a clean version and the edit version, because it says with the following changes, colon. So then that should say,
Indicated in red or
with the
structure.
following changes indicated in the attached red line version as Exhibit A. I move to insert that and strike no changes. Or.
I'll second that.
I'll send you my red line version, Mayor.
All right, I got a motion by the Mayor Pro Tem and a second by Alderwoman CJ to strike no changes or, and then insert after changes indicated in red line version as Exhibit A. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Do we want to reference somewhere here in Exhibit B as a clean version, or are we just attaching the red line version?
Since we're calling that Exhibit B,
A.
Cassandra, do we need to add that in the portion that Alderman Tremblay just mentioned where he said we're adding it, it's attached in section 2?
Yeah, so the first sentence, after and adopt the attached investment policy,
Exhibit A.
yeah, as exhibit, whatever exhibit, A or B, which includes the investment policy. And then the next sentence has with the following changes shown in exhibit A, is how we could reword that.
So you're talking this right here, the attached investment policy. The investment policy, okay, so
First sentence, approval that the city council hereby reviewed and adopts the attached investment policy
Exhibit
attached as exhibit.
okay, I moved to insert after
policy.
investment policy in the first sentence of section 2 to insert attached as Exhibit B,
B.
comma.
All right, I got a motion by the Mayor Pro Tem to insert Exhibit B after investment policy. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Exhibit B, comma.
Well, it's after policy, so it's implied, maybe?
There should be a comma before and after Exhibit B, is what I'm trying to get to.
Either that
Oh.
or put it in parentheses and the comma.
Yeah. All right, so I'll restate it. All those CG. Okay. So again, I got a motion by the Mayor Pro Tem and a second by Alderwoman CJ to insert Exhibit B after the word policy with a comma in the beginning. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed. That motion carries. Any other questions? Then let's move it.
Oh, but you'll need a investment officer.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Shots.
So is this where you are, Mayor Pro Tem? And should we do, like you said, 2 people, 3 people,
Pino and I were on the previous one,
right?
so the council can decide who needs to be on this one.
Well, I don't think you have a choice. You took the class already. We need somebody else who also needs to take the class. Gotcha. It can also be the administrator. So we can send him to class. I think when is it coming? Well, that was in December, the physical class, right? So there should be another one coming up in the summer.
Yeah, but it's also online.
Yeah, it is also online.
It's online.
So I think, my opinion is Mayor Pro Tem, since she already has the training, then add the administrator. If you want to send me, you can, but I don't know who else would want to do it.
I would recommend the city administrator.
You want 2 or you just 2 or you want 3?
2.
It was sufficient.
Okay, because it does list three roles, that's why I say that. Treasurer, CFO.
No, because this is just nominating someone as the investment officer, so we'd be dual hatting the city administrator if we make him one of the investment officers, as well as later go in and change him to be the city treasurer.
I read the investment management as the treasurer, the chief financial officer, if, well, and I guess it says if not the treasurer, and the investment officer. So I guess, yeah, I think, yeah, you're right. I think it only reads as two. If we don't have three.
Okay, I'm reading section 3 to say delegation of responsibility and authority, period. Management responsibility for the investment program is delegated to blank, who is hereby designated as the investment officers. With an F. So I'm telling you that if you put the city administrator in there, and then we go back later, as was discussed, and make the city administrator the city treasurer as well, that means we're making him the investment officer and the city treasurer. That's just all I'm saying, because whoever goes in this blank is the investment officer based on what this ordinance states. An officer does have an S on it.
Take that as an-
The city administrator is the budget officer. No,
No. The city secretary is the accountant, the website administrator, I mean, she's got a bunch, but city treasurer is not one of them.
then, yeah, city administrator. Would be I guess we're calling it an alternate.
He would be the investment officer, is what he's being designated by this ordinance, if you
Mhm.
put his name in there. And then we don't need to go back and make him a city treasurer later, unless there's some other ordinance or resolution that requires us to have a city treasurer.
Well, I move that we delegate the mayor pro tem and the city administrator as the responsible investment officers.
Dr. John? Are you okay with that nomination that he's making for you to be the investment officer with me for the city?
Yes, I am, yes, I am.
Then I'll second that motion.
All right, I got a motion by the, oh, actually, I
Already
got,
got a second,
huh?
Lamar already.
That's good.
Made a second.
All right, I got a motion by Alderman Tremblay and a second by Mayor Pro Tem to delegate, to insert Mayor Pro Tem and city administrator. Do we want to list names or do we want to just list the role?
Typically listening.
Names, okay, so then let's list Mayor Pro Tem Monica Madero and City Administrator Dr. Jermaine Johnson into the yellow highlighted section under section 3. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
All right,
All those opposed. All right,
now we need to approve the resolution itself.
yeah,
Move to approve resolution 2026-246, resolution of City Council, City of Sandy Oaks, providing and approving an investment policy, delegating responsibility and authority, and providing for an effective date as noted.
Second.
all right, I got a motion by Alderman Tremblay and a second by Alderman McNeil to adopt resolution number 2026-246, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Sandy Oaks, Texas, approving an investment policy, delegating responsibility and authority, and providing for an effective date as amended. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right. Well, I think that carries that one. All right, let's move on to L. Discussion or possible action on city employees' holiday schedule. So I received this email that you have in front of you by the city employees requesting that we reconsider the days that that were removed from the current policy manual. Wish there were more employees to talk to it, but unfortunately not. Days off are considered a form of compensation, so by removing them, you did remove compensation from them. I get it, they have PTO, but this is just what the employees have asked for.
At the time, we made the motion and had the conversation about it, we identified that they had more PTO than was average in the area. So that they could use the PTO if they wanted that time off rather than closing City Hall for those days, and that's why we made the decision to remove them. In evaluating those around, we are about average for what holidays are around the area. I think the average is like 11. Seguin has the most at 14, but if you look at, based on the cities that I looked at, but if you look at the city of Seguin, if you've worked there for 15 years, you get 20 days of leave. You start off at 6 months, you get 5 days. You have to work 6 months before you get any time off. So if you compare that to the moment you start, you get 15 days. We're talking a lot of extra PTO that we're given that makes up, I think, more than enough than the couple of holidays that we don't give to them. Also, we also give our employees every day of leave on day 1 of the year. Most other cities in the area that we looked into, they require you to earn it throughout the year. Right now, a city can come, someone can come to work on day 1, January 1st, whatever, and they can immediately take leave if approved. And they have no commitment to stay longer, to work longer. They don't have to finish their probation, nothing in order to get that.
If
So,
approved, so it can't be just done blindly.
right, if approved. So that,
So there are checks and balances.
Right.
So to say that,
So-
so say that they're gonna take it off,
Mayor,
well,
point of
no,
order, I would like to hear from the aldermen, the ones that have to make this decision.
sure.
So understand your perception, your take on this, because you argued with us when we did it before. I'm presenting mine as an alderperson. I would like to hear from the other alderpersons and their take on mine. We know yours.
This
So
is not my perspective, this is the employee's perspective.
understood. We
Let's
read
let that be
we
a
read
point.
We read that comment,
Great.
absolutely. So
Good.
thank you.
All right,
So,
go ahead.
so that's my take on this, and the fact that we give them more from the start. They have to work for at least 5 years to get 15 days in the city of Seguin. The average does seem to be 11 days, 11 to 12 days around the area if you go out and look. So I think their paid time off and the manner in which we give it to them helps provide them plenty of compensation.
Can I say something, or I don't know?
Sure, yeah.
I appreciate your research and stuff for the other cities, but to me, I don't know what the other recognized city holidays that were removed, but for the New Year's Eve, I don't see how, 4 hours is gonna make a big thing if it's gonna bring better morale to the workers, you know what I mean, the city employees. That's my opinion, so.
I also did some research and like Alderman Neal said, most of the cities that I looked at that were around our size and the federal schedule and the state schedule all allowed for 11 days off, and we allowed for 10.5. So I don't have an issue giving them that other half day. I really don't. Giving 13, 14 days, yeah, I have a challenge with that. But my question is, in these other cities I was looking at, the ones I looked at had similar PTO to what we have. But am I correct in my understanding that we're assuming that all sick time comes out of our PTO, out of the employee's PTO?
But they take a sick day, it's PTO.
Okay, most of these cities have PTO comparable,
Sure.
relatively
Yeah.
comparable
Mhm.
to ours,
Mhm.
plus 12 days a year based on 1 day a month. Accrued for sick time.
Right.
And then the 11 holidays. So if you add up the total of the days that they get off, then I do think that our employees don't have enough to include that sick time. But I do acknowledge what Mayor Pro Tem's saying, 11 holidays is the standard. And not only is it the standard, there are 11 federal holidays, there are 11 on the state of Texas acknowledged. So I'm not inclined to give more holidays, but I do think we have to make some adjustment for sick days.
I don't,
Whether we include it in
Well-
PTO or not,
I
I
think
think-
if there's sick time, it's all included in there, in the PTO if they're.
in which
if you
case
take a
is our
sick day,
PTO
it's your
enough?
PTO. Oh, yeah.
Because all the ones I looked at were,
At first,
were
you're
more
getting it up
separate.
front, and most places you work, you earn it.
That is true.
by
Which cities were you
pay
looking at that
That
were
is true.
comparable to Alderwoman?
China Grove.
Walker?
China Grove and, Elmendorf.
And it is prorated, right?
Pleasant
So you start day one, you still have a 90-day probation. So to say that you take it the first week is a bit of a misstatement.
Well, after probation.
Right, so then it
Right.
would be prorated, right?
Yeah.
So it would be, 5 days or whatever it is, however many you need to take off, right?
My
Very different.
experience, it's always been an accrual. We don't get it
Right.
all at the
You
beginning.
don't get it all at one
You don't
time.
get it all the
Fine.
time, you
Right.
know.
That's
I,
generous in
I,
itself.
I will say, right, and you gotta look at it from this perspective. You're retired, you work, you're independent. And so your vision of PTO is 20 years ago, 30 years ago. Well, whatever it is.
I'm pretty old, but I ain't that old.
But in the corporate setting, man, this is
The corporate
the
setting in this area,
minimum.
It's 7 to 10 days.
This
is
is the
core
minimum.
Holidays, 7 to 10 is the core holidays given in the commercial world. I didn't go there because they were lower than us. I looked at the cities
I
because
don't know what companies you've been working for, the government, so in
I
private
didn't look
business,
in private business. If you go out there and look, the average for the small town businesses in the San Antonio area, it will tell you 7 to 10
small
holidays.
businesses,
I was looking
Are
at,
not-
I was looking at municipal,
And
yeah,
and they
And-
did have 11.
and they have sick time.
But do I agree with more than 11? No, I don't. I just don't. I think you can use your PTO. If you wanted to have, you felt strongly you needed to have Good Friday off or the day after Christmas or whatever.
that also allows us to keep the city open so that if
Yes.
someone
Or,
has city business to take care of, they can come in on those days.
or at their supervisor's discretion, be able to say they don't want to take President's Day off, but they want to take Good Friday off. You can have a skeleton staff on both days.
That would mean we'd have to go to floating holidays, which would be a totally
Yeah.
different
State
thing.
of Texas allows for,
Right,
for,
we'd have to update our personnel policy
For
to
that.
reflect that we're having certain numbers of fixed holidays and certain floating holidays.
right. But that could be at the discretion of the supervisor too.
I still don't think that half day is gonna
Yeah.
kill the city,
Yeah,
you know what I
it's not
mean?
gonna- it's not gonna break.
I didn't see anyone else that gave New Year's Eve off.
I don't
though.
have-
Anybody
Not the
looked.
whole day. We're
No,
talking
didn't
4
even give
hours.
any
4
time,
hours.
not even a half day. I didn't see any cities that was given New Year's Eve off. Is there an example of someone that does that in the area?
Could show you.
No, but that would bring us up to 11
I worked for the
hours.
government.
I mean,
and-
11
and,
hours.
and the commander always would give you half a day off, day before holiday.
Was that,
When you're in uniform, but if you're a
No,
civilian, they
as a
can't do that.
civilian, half a day commander.
Yeah, they don't do
Yeah.
that anymore.
No?
They're not allowed to. The
No.
president can give you time off, but your
Well,
boss,
and he did this last
Yeah,
year.
He did this
Yeah.
one.
but the boss, the best they can do is a 59-minute rule.
I don't know, if there's no more discussion, I'd like to make a movement.
See?
Or is that right? I move that we approve the employee's request to designate New Year's Eve as a half-day holiday for city employees.
A second.
all right, I got a motion by Alderman McNeil and a second by Alderwoman CJ to reinstate the New Year's Eve half-day holiday. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
No,
That motion carries. Any other further discussion on the other items for this particular email? All right. So then let's move to agenda item M. All right, so I had a gentleman and a citizen reach out and ask if they could have a variance to our ordinance. They purchased the home December 19th of 2025 and contacted me on January 8th I believe, to basically state, hey, we had a new employee that's working this deal, didn't reach out to y'all in time. We're now 8 days past. Would you consider a variance, as now the home would reflect as 6 model years now, when previously on the day of purchase, it was 5 model years. The ordinance does state pretty clearly, and I've advised them that, hey, it does say that from the date of application that we would accept it, right? So I did let them know that, but I said, hey, it's worth giving it a try. I think it's a good faith effort. I think it makes a lot of sense. That is my opinion. I will leave it open up to
Okay,
you.
well, first, thank you for giving us the documents that went with the photos. That did help clarify. Two, he didn't date when I didn't see a date on when he purchased it, so don't
Look at
know.
the contract. The
Sure.
seller's contract is there,
So, but my.
dated 12/19.
So, okay, but
Signed.
it's not 6 years old. That house was manufactured July 17th of 2025, so it became 5 years old in July 20, so it's not even 6 years old yet. It's only 5.5. So we're only asking to waive the 6 months of this, not 6 years. Because it doesn't go
That's right.
December and January. It was manufactured July 17th. So in my opinion, I don't think we need to demand anything, something that's just 6 months. I don't think the December versus January makes a difference, just so he understands that it's not based on
It doesn't say that in our ordinance.
the
It
home.
says 5 years, it just says 5 years. It
Right,
doesn't stipulate.
But the 5 years would be based on the manufactured date, and it's 5 years old on its birthday.
We
So,
can interpret it that way.
but I would say it's only a 6 month variance. I don't see an issue. I don't think we need to demand anything, and I think we should allow this individual to just move in, without any kind of expansion or anything, because it is only
It's
5
just,
years.
it's just the inspection that they need.
Right,
Or extra.
I think
Yeah.
we should waive him to qualify with the home that's 5 years, 6 months old.
I
that a motion?
concur, I concur.
So I move to approve this individual to have a home, this home that's 5 years, 6 months old, and bring it into the city of Sandy Oaks.
Second,
Well, I would just make a note that, you know, you might have a model year. I would go by model year because it's gonna be built previous to the model year generally, like an automobile. So I would go by what the seller claims the model year is, so it's.
And the HUD tag
It's all
confirms it's a
good, right?
2025, yeah, or 2020.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
all right, I got a motion by Mayor Pro Tem and a second by Alderman McNeil to waive or to provide a variance to the ordinance 2025-256, 5 model years or newer. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right. Oh, okay. I will let them know tomorrow. Okay, now we will move to agenda item D. It's now 8 PM Central Daylight Savings Time. And we will address 7D, executive session to deliberate pay rates for animal control officers and related matters pursuant to Texas Open Meeting Act, Chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code, Section 551.074. And I gotta say E, right?
No, that,
No, that's down, right? Okay. All right, it's 8 o'clock. We are in session. Please leave your mics. All right, the time is now 8:18. We are in session. All right, let's move along to agenda item 7E. At this time, there is no action to be taken.
I move to adjourn.
It is now 8:18. We are adjourned. Thank you.